Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Every time we get together with him, it's all about realization, aha moments, and helping you heal, moving your life forward. He practices acupuncture. He's a life coach. He's does hypnotherapy, on and on and on. And he thinks deep, but in a way that we can understand. He's back with us. Going to be honest, I have no idea what we're talking about today. He's got something he wants to share that's going to be, I know it's going to be impactful because it always is, and he's back with us. Chris Distefano joins us on the program. How are you today?
Doing great. Thank you, Steve. How about you?
Very well. Intrigued. There's been a few times where we've done it this way, where we just jumped into something. I had a little bit of an inkling as to what we were going to talk about. Today, I have no idea. Where are we going?
Today, I have no idea. So I was thinking before about how, like, there's a whole topic that I love. We're not going to do it, but I'm going to just touch it, which is I was working with a guy who's depressed and he's successful and he's in a transition period. He's looking to sell his business because he has to sort of move on. And he's depressed because what he's doing is comparing himself to everyone else. And even one of the guys he compares himself to, this guy says that he was the rainmaker that made everything happen. And I'm telling him, and it touched him. He was like, he's comparing himself to Instagram stories. He's not honoring his life. He's expecting it to be someone else's story. And when he really began to connect to that, he's pushing away who he is because he thinks someone else is better. And I thought about this because I used to be depressed, like for real. And I didn't want to be me. I didn't want to live as me. And now I wouldn't trade being me for anything in the world. I learned to love who I am, and I learned to love my life. And I learned that everything that was pushing it away was falsehood. Recently, I unblocked, by unblock, I mean there was an area that I tended to get tension. And I unblocked it because I was in a meditation. I was opening up the area by stretching, active movement, going to end of range of motion, and gently feeling into it. Because everyone's going to ask, what do you mean by release? And I discovered that was because when I was younger, I was always different. I couldn't really relate that easily. And I was never seen as me. So I wanted to be who people could see and who people wanted to see. So it became a habit of burying me to put on a costume of someone else. And I tell you what, right now, anyone that's listening, that's phony. And people smell a phony from a mile away. They might like you, but there's just something they can't put their finger on, and the trust will not be true. So what I want to go into is a friend of mine is very involved in the Flourish Foundation, and there's an upcoming Olympic Center event to end child suicide and promote mental health. And I can really relate to the kids. Like this woman was telling the story about her kid, and he tried taking his life, and just the horror that the parents have to go through. But I can still relate to the suffering of the kids. And I'm in the process today, actually, of writing what I hope to be a very short pamphlet or book on techniques that I've adopted that have facilitated my transformation. Because I want to be able to share that, because honestly, if you're in that state, you're in a lie. And you don't see it. You believe your thoughts, and your thoughts are based on fear. Thoughts are conditioned responses. Thoughts are almost strictly involuntary, based on conditioning, based on fear. And then we get a stimulus, an incomplete amount of information. We make an analysis from it, and we lock ourselves away and put ourselves down and diminish ourselves. And we sell it as, oh, I'm just setting realistic expectations. I'm just protecting myself. No, you're not. You're setting bad intentions, and you're locking yourself in a box because of fear. And that's what I'd like to talk about today.
Wow.
Not light.
No, but the answer to happiness for many of us, because we're not being real. That's what I'm getting from you. We're the song Billy Joel the Stranger just dropped in my head, that we put on a mask and we go home at night I'm trying to think of the lyrics. And we're changing masks all the time. We are not really us. And to me, it seems that that's where it goes awry, where you're not aligning with who you genuinely, truly are. You're trying to be something or someone else. And that's where the friction takes place, and sometimes in a very major way, where sometimes you don't want to even be around anymore because something's not right.
Yeah.
Basically, is that where we're going today?
Jim Carrey has a great quote, and I'm going to butcher it. It's like, sadness is things aren't going well. Depression is yourself cannot stand playing that character anymore. You can no longer bear that burden because it's too much. You're pushing who you are too deep into a hole. And what's fascinating is everything has a healthy and a pathological aspect. And you know this in your line of business. What I'm going to use. So when I'm working with patients, if you see, and it's hysterical. When I take a coaching class, it's hysterical. They'll vouch. I'm a completely different person with everyone I'm working with. But it's all me. It's just different facets of me that can connect to that person. Because when I'm working, my job is, a lot like your job, is to create that resonance, to let that resonance foster. But the resonance is only going to be true if we're coming from that place of authenticity. You meet the person where they are as yourself. So we will show, and we always have, different faces that are authentic. But then we have these characters of who we're supposed to be, or who, even worse, who we think we're supposed to be, because the mind is always going to lead us astray. The mind is going to be like, I want to be that guy. What you don't know about that guy, he shows you the face in one respect. Maybe he's not sleeping at night because he's in such conflict. We don't know that. But we're basing, because the mind thinks it has a full set of information, we're basing our thoughts and we're basing our logical everything on incomplete data sets. And we're pushing ourselves away. If we follow the heart's running from a complete data set of authenticity. And that really, in the end, I'm writing it. I'm planning on giving it away for free, because this is something, if you haven't been there, you won't understand it. I don't care how many textbooks you read, you don't understand what the pain feels like. But if someone can connect to even one or two techniques, all it is it's a choice. It's no one believes me on the other side that it's a choice. Like, no one's going to believe me that's depressed. Oh, I'm not choosing to be depressed. I was coaching a guy the other day in lifelong depression. And what we really came up with is he doesn't allow himself to feel a range of feelings, because as men, we're told we can only feel certain things. I'll tell you what, this woman talking about her kid, old me would not have happened. I had tears coming out because I could feel what the pain was. Because I allow myself, I'm not going to get hung up on a feeling, but I allow the feelings. I allow the reality of who I am and to respond, as opposed to pushing it down. Because we push it down, we have to lock it away. That creates muscle tension, creates emotional tension, creates all that stuff. And now we entered pathology, and it becomes a habit. All of this is habitual. Suicidal ideations are habitual thought patterns. It's a comfort for people who are in a dark place, because it provides that escape. And that's the only way that they see that the pain ends. And it becomes a habit because our mind will always go into the familiar, even if it's painful. So how do we break that? We break that by beginning to understand that it's lies. How many times has the mind said, oh, this is going to end catastrophically, and it doesn't end as badly, or it ends well, and we get surprised? Reality plays with us when we're open. So it's substituting and finding that one good thing, starting to build a positive thought that we could keep swinging back to, as opposed to getting trapped in these cycles, because that lowers our vibration. It keeps us. And by lowering our vibration, in English, that means it keeps us in a really crappy mental, emotional state. It keeps us in a bad place.
I understand everything you just said. And it's more clarity. And I'm going to try and go through each of the things that you mentioned. Let's go back to being your genuine self. Now, there are some that are just not being them. And then you said there are many moments where there's a part of us that plays to the person that we're connecting with, the situation, the scenario. You really are you, but it's a different part of you that addresses that person. You meet them where they are. You're a different type of empathy. Every situation is different. How do you know that that's a different part of you, but it really is you? How do you know that it's really you, as opposed to, I'm not being me. I'm not being the genuine me?
Well, I'm not saying I may err a little too much on one side. It's kind of like today. I had no idea what we were going to talk about until we started. None of this is scripted. None of it is planned. Granted, I'm writing it, but if you're sitting there going through 1,000 scenarios and plotting what you're going to say, then you're playing a character.
Sure.
It's healthy to go through a couple and be like, if he's this, but when we start scripting it all, and so what do you feel? You feel body tension, you feel conflict, you're going to feel pain because your body will be telling you this is not all right. You're not going to feel. So when I'm in the right place, the words happen, the deeds happen, the action happens. Oh, by the way, I want to drop this too. Altruism. Do it. It's the best medicine. It is the most selfish thing in the world. It feels so good. It helps us connect us to our heart. So authentic altruism, just random acts, knock yourselves out. If you're in a dark place, help someone else. It'll lift you up. But so that's it though. It has to come from the heart. It has to be authentic. You can't be faking it. How do you know you're faking it? You feel wooden. You feel stiff.
Like you're going through the motions.
Guessing. Yes. Like you're playing a character, you know, and there's something I also like. I'm really trying to keep this book very, very short. It's like a pamphlet, but a big part of the darkness is like people will be better off if I'm gone. I'm not loved, all that nonsense. And if you're here drawing breath, then you have a purpose, even if you don't know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here. And when I was trying to force being someone, people couldn't really connect to me. And I was like, well, I'm really different. People can't relate, this and that. Now that I'm myself, people are like, I trust you right away. I'm able to, the connections are authentic. So just try being and not overdoing it, not being a total, like not putting on a show, just being authentic, because it's those differences that are the beauty. So long answer to the short question, but how do you know? You just feel it. So how do we start learning how to feel? Pay attention. How do we start learning how to pay attention? Stop distracting ourselves, maybe focus on breath, maybe see if we can sit still for a minute, just looking at a bird. I like birds, or trees, or whatever. Something to put our mind in a still place, looking at nature, being present, getting to develop a relationship with ourselves.
Many would say, what's that going to do? Chris, come on. Like, go look at a bird, like a leaf. Come on, bro. Like, really? I'm totally on your page, but I'm being facetious here. How do you address that?
People don't say that to me. One of my patients yesterday was great. This is acupuncture, but I do it. And he's like, do you have patients that are doctors? Because literally the way I practice, I don't know if I've ever told you, is I touch something and I'm told where to put my other hand, or if I should needle or whatever. And it'll open up, like I press your back, there's a painful spot, I touch somewhere else and it opens. I don't really fall back on my training that much anymore. I'm just given the information. And I tell people this because why not? It's how I work, and it works a lot better than anything I've done before.
And you're being you. And you're being you.
Yeah.
Just got to throw that in there.
And he asks if doctors see me. And it was funny because I had a retiring doctor who I saw 2 patients later. I see so many doctors because when they see me, their system has not been able to help them. And they might think I'm weird. There was a great Budweiser commercial years ago where people had their superstitions. Stevie Wonder song was playing and they'd run downstairs and do the touchdown dance or whatever. And the slogan was, it's only weird if it doesn't work. And so a lot of doctors do see me, a lot of nurses, because what I do is connecting on levels that their medicine doesn't. And I'm able to help them in ways that they hadn't been. So this is the same thing. What's it going to do? Change your outlook, change your life. 3 times. If I hear something more than once, I know it's important. 3 times in the past few days in different ways I heard, it's not the event, it's how we process it. So think about that. You shift your mind and an event happens and you're processing in a negative way. You're going to be like, why? You're going to be total victim. Why does this always happen to me? I'm the worst. I'm always doomed. I'm jinxed. Versus in a higher vibration, something happens to me. I'm like, why have I brought that in my life? What am I learning from this? How's this helping me to grow? And you start to see the challenges, not as things that keep you down, but that constant proving ground to help you to grow in strength and resiliency and understand that we are part of creation actively. And if someone can't hear that yet, I can explain it this simply. We have, trillion cells in our body. You put yourself in a crap mood, you just set the weather for absolute garbage. You put yourself in an awesome place. First of all, there's an insanely crazy study that people on cocaine have more synchronicities. I'm not saying to do cocaine, but even cocaine raises a vibration. It brings us anything at higher vibration. And do not do cocaine for this. Learn to be happy. Mm-hmm. Brings good into our lives because we are engaged.
Yeah, even people hit up THC because it changes their state, and then they see things differently. It's relevant. I'm not suggesting to do anything, whatever works for you, but it brings you to even microdosing. It brings you to a level of consciousness where invariably your vibration is up and things are different. You see things differently because your vibration is up. Do you feel that? Well, going back to where somebody says, why is it happening to me? Why every single time? Blah, 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 blah. Do you feel that is, we go through these things because ultimately it is a lesson and it's preparation for what you're destined to receive, the good stuff, the way it should be. But you need to get through this over here to get over to the other side. Do you feel that that's kind of the way it all works?
Yeah. And the way I see it is every skill. So however strong you could be on the good side, you have to have equal capacity on what we call the bad side. And so as you become more powerful, both sides increase. So what has to happen, at least what I'm seeing, is ethics becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger part because you're steering a bigger ship. So what happens at the lower levels is really the hard lessons because we're resisting them over and over. So it becomes painful to force us. And then as we begin to see that flow, we have less resistance. And then we begin to see the importance of holding deep truth because that's liberation. You're removing so much conflict through the ethics. So many lessons for me have strengthened ethics. And then from ethics.
Well, I want to go back to the word ethics before we even go further down this road. What are these ethics? Are these yours?
Yes. External ethics are guidelines for people that don't have ethics.
Well, I think it all goes back to living you, because anytime you go against the grain, if you will, that's going against your ethics, your morals, your beliefs, all of that. You're going to feel uncomfortable in your own skin. And right back to the very beginning of today's conversation, that's where it's going to feel off because you're not being you. You're wearing a mask.
And it reflects right back.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good. Oh, I want to throw one thing in there. I found the best way, because I'm a big fan of everything. I found the best way to really get naturally into a deeper state of connecting to ourselves is breath work for most people in our society, because meditation is kind of hard to connect to. Breath work is extremely powerful. Something as simple as box breathing. That's 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. And I like to throw in alternate nostril when I do it just to make it even more. Holy cow, that really sets a powerful level of consciousness.
I can't do the nostrils. I have a deviated septum, but I agree with you on the box breathing. It's amazing. And people say, well, what's breathing going to do? Try it.
I did that with a patient. He's like, he trusts me enough. He thought it was nonsense. He came back the next time. He's like, that's the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I myself and some others gave advice to somebody we're connected with going through a lot. And the question was, And this person is intelligent, passionate, fired up, and he's going through some things. And the question posed to him was, have you ever sat in silence? Have you actually done nothing? Just sat with yourself? It took him a moment. And he said, no, I never did that. I was like, well, you need to. You need to find the time to do that.
That is really, really hard if someone can't. And that's why the breath work is easier, because it gives one distraction level above just sitting. It's a cheat.
But it works. And it's worked for many for thousands of years. So why stop now?
Yeah.
The lesson. There's a lesson in everything. Would you agree, yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Multiple lessons in everything. Yeah.
Okay. What's the last lesson you learned from all of this? And it could connect back to previous lessons. Maybe it was a reminder of a lesson. Maybe it was a reminder of you need to start doing whatever it was. What do you think was the last one for you?
Oh, goodness. I got a good lesson in humility the other day. That was nice.
Okay.
I was just around some of the most remarkable people. And I was like, there are so many incredibly people. Everyone's incredible, but these people have uncovered their gifts and they're shining. And I was just blown away to be in their presence.
Nice. Wow. Humility. I think that we need to realize it in all of us. Me personally, my last one, very recent, trust. Like I trust everyone. And now I'm looking at it in a different way, even with, on a project, working with somebody, connected to whatever. Lee Iacocca said it best, the guy, the car guy from back in the day. If it isn't in print, it doesn't exist. So I'm, Shake, what do you want to do? We have a plan. This is great. As things unfold, that's not, things don't align with me. I guess they don't align with others. So the lesson for me is everything needs to be clearly defined when there's a level of trust there. Expectations, call it that. And that's been my hard lesson in life. And and the theme comes up from time to time, but that's what it is. I trust everyone. I gotta watch that.
You know what's great? You're dead on. First of all, I have another car guy. I like Henry Ford says, whether you believe you will succeed or fail, you're right. But all lessons ultimately are trust.
I got to process that one.
They're deepening our faith in ourself, in our creator, in our relationship, whatever it is, though. Every lesson ends up being a leap of faith, letting go of something that's been our security.
I just wrote that one down. Amazing talk today for getting together and not even knowing what we're going to talk about. The little nuggets of insight here, as a butterfly flies in the background. It's almost like it was a sign. This is the direction we need to go in. It's all there if you want to change your life. And this is what you do on many different levels, including coaching. Chris, what's the best way to connect with you?
The easiest right now is scarsdalehealth.com. That's my acupuncture practice. I do have level3coaching.com also, that's all spelled out. But the Scarsdale Health one, that one is just get me that way and I'll steer you into wherever we need to go.
Beautiful talk today, and truly appreciate it. Real good.
Thank you, Stephen. Honestly, if this helps anyone, I just hope it does, because if you're in that dark place, I promise you that's a lie. It's always, we will never get given more than we can handle, and there's always support when we really, really need it. There's something.
Appreciate that. And looking forward next time we get together to talk about whatever. It doesn't matter. It always turns out to be impactful when it's with you, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, Steve. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.